Network Entertainment.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you're watching this podcast from here in the Philippines and from all over the world. Welcome to the RJ Ledesma podcast. In my podcast, I like to speak to inspiring business leaders and entrepreneurs to learn more about how they think about doing business. What are their success secrets? Can we replicate those success secrets in our own businesses? And most importantly, what business opportunities do they see emerging in the near future? Do you know any great business leaders who you'd like me to interview here on the podcast? Please let me know. I would love to learn from them as well. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We've got two inspiring women in today's podcast. First off, we've got Diana Lim, who is the Vice President of PetNet Forex Solutions and spearheads sales and operations for PetNet Global Business, which caters to B2B cross-border payments. She boasts a compelling 11-year tenure at the company, and she was involved in operations from leading teams in sales, data, people managers, and B2B strategies. We also have Camille de la Paz Villafuerte, who also works at PetNet Forex as the Senior Assistant Vice President and the Head Trader for Forex Trading, which provides accessible, convenient, and efficient business trading solutions through the buying and selling of US dollars. And welcome to my podcast, the RJ Ledesma podcast. In my podcast, I like to speak to trailblazing entrepreneurs and top businessmen to better understand how they think about doing business and what are their success secrets. How can we replicate those success secrets in our own businesses? I want to find out what were the challenges they encountered and how did they address these challenges. But more importantly, I want to know, what do they think are the upcoming business opportunities? And today, I am very, very honored to have a businessman from Cebu whom I admire very, very much, a self-made businessman. Maraming salamat for joining us, Mr. Justin Uy. Sir Justin, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Thank you, RJ. Thanks for inviting me over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Very recently, just a couple of months ago, my wife and my youngest son had a chance to go to JPark, which is your development in Cebu, as you launch your newest JPark Condotel. But just to let people know a bit more about who you are, no? If you're watching me live and you're not listening to me, Mr. Uy was the guy who developed Philippine dried mangoes from Cebu and also Cebu brand dried mangoes. He's branched out to things like, even young coconut and other things. And for those who go all the way to Mactan, you've probably seen JPark Island. My kids really enjoyed it because of
The water park.
water
and
park in Pororo.
Pororo,
They enjoyed
yeah.
Pororo there as well.
The indoor park.
The indoor
Yeah.
park. But you've got a very interesting story to share with people. My wife told me she went to your factory, she sat down with you, and she was just blown away by your story of entrepreneurship.
Thank you.
So, Uncle Justin, I know this is very, what I often like to start with in the show is storytelling, because yan yung tumatatak sa mga
Yeah.
tao when we hear the story. And I know that you've had a very interesting entrepreneurial story. You if it's correct me if I'm wrong, you really started from scratch, from nothing when it came to business.
Yeah, that's right.
Please tell me, sir, how did you start off your own journey towards entrepreneurship? Were you working as a young boy? What were you doing?
Yeah. I'm just an ordinary boy. And I think I'm not really an entrepreneur.
Mm.
I was not born an entrepreneur, but I think I just grow to become an entrepreneur. Yeah, I was a boy, a normal one. I was number 4 in an 11 siblings. Although my father' business was distributing cigarette on that time. So I learned the business through him. I remember when I was 12 years old, he sent me with the salesman to take their clients
Mm.
or where they sell the cigarette. I didn't know that I'm doing an auditing on them, but I was just 12 years old. When I come back, I reported to my dad, "Oh, I didn't see this establishment in the invoice. I see all of these." So those are the business that I learned from my dad. Then I went peddling cigarette to the vendors when I was in my grade school. So I learned how to talk to the people, how to sell products. But for me, I just want to be an working for somebody. But because of the what you call, we were not born rich, so we come from a big family. The requirement, the financial for the family, forced me to be an entrepreneur.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
So actually, entrepreneurship really comes from many different sources, right? Where it starts off, and yours is out of need because you had to support the family, and like you said, no, it's very important for many people that entrepreneurship is created, right? And for me, what I often find is in common denominator when it comes to very successful Filipino Chinese businessmen. Is it a family culture, or because you were part, it's like a migrant family then, so they had to really find their own fortunes.
I think it's a migrant condition that make it to become a entrepreneur. I can see my dad's friend. So that's implanted in our mind that one day you want to be like them also.
I see. So in your case, so at first you saw the entrepreneurial spirit of your dad as he was selling cigarettes, and then you had to do something on your own. How did you eventually find that business that you had to do on your own?
Initially, I was with my dad and Brad. I was 15 years old when we go into a sales craft business.
Sales craft.
Yeah, doing all those soccer, bangles.
Okay.
But the business did not last because it's a 6 months business. On the second half, there's no orders for those fashion jewelry due to it's winter month in US and Europe. So I saw this kind of business doesn't last long.
I see.
So we went into a second business. It was poultry, raising chicken for 5 months and having the eggs. So I become an entrepreneur by selling the eggs to the market area and also selling everything, chicken dung, everything. Yeah. And again, because we don't have the capital and with the borrowed money of a very high interest, uh, so raising chicken cannot afford high interest. So the business did not prosper also. The third business I went into was mushroom. I was 17 years old that time. And we grow mushroom together with one of my brother who became a doctor through the earnings of the mushroom. So we plant rice straw mushroom and sell to all the restaurants and all the rich people in Cebu. And that's how I know the rich people in Cebu during my teenager years. So I deliver the mushroom to their house every day or every week. So it was kind interesting, but the market is not that big. So again, it did not. It was not really did not really prosper because of limitation of the market. So it's the fourth business that when I was 19 years old, I started with my brother and my father to go into mango. It was a recipe made by my auntie
Mhm.
at home, drying under the sun. That's it. We start going into it, although go through a lot of hardship, but finally made it.
Tell me a bit more about that one. I'm very curious. But before that one, it's amazing. At 19 years old, you already went through almost five different businesses from cigarette to yung jewelry to eggs to chicken dung to mushroom. And I often tell people, you know what, whatever you do, whatever experience you have in life, you actually gain something from it. Walang nawawala. Nothing is lost from those experiences. During your formative years in business, what did you feel were the most important things that you learned? What were your key takeaways from that early years that you were able to take with you and you still continue to use in business today?
In my early days, the experience really I learned is as a young person, you have nothing to lose. So never say I cannot do it because your failure become your stepping stone in your next business. So I've been through many failures. It become an experience. It become a wisdom
Mhm.
for you for your next venture.
And then you also told me one thing that you sort of realized over time, I guess, was that sometimes you have to understand the size of the market and the sustainability of the business. Because you said sa jewelry nga, pati sa mushroom too small, jewelry not sustainable. What did you pick up from that na you were able to use in the future?
I think it's an instinct that you visualize or you look at the future, what a business can you really want. So for me, I wanted something that can last long
Mm-hmm.
and you can keep on expanding, and something that the challenges you can overcome, make you fulfill it. Yeah.
And how did you see this one when it came to the dried mango? How did you know that parang, ito na yan, ito yung jackpot ko? How did you, was there a point when you were doing it? Because it could have just been another one of your businesses, right? It could
Yeah.
have been just like the mushroom business that was too small or not sustainable. What made this one different for you?
The first thing is I don't need a big capital doing mango on that time. On that time, the abundance of mango makes the mango price very cheap. That was in the late 70s
Mhm.
to early 80s. A piece of mango is around 25 centavos.
Wow.
That's a large size. So a kilo is only around 75 centavos per kilo of fresh mango.
Mhm.
So the first thing that I've seen is the price, the abundance of the raw material. So that makes it very attractive to us. Another thing is I can borrow from the farmers. The farmers have a lot of mango during the mango season, and I will tell them, "Oh, can you give me your mango? I pay you in 3 months' time with interest." Yeah. So that's how I really work. Were able to be successful on it because with abundant raw material, you can create something and sell it to everybody.
That's right. And but when you were starting off the business, I often tell people sometimes as an entrepreneur, your job as the entrepreneur is to solve the problems of other people, right? That's your job. That's where you make money when you solve
Yeah.
other people's problems. Can I ask you, when you were making the dried mangoes, was there any problem that you were trying to solve for other people, or did it come from that instance, or anong naging inspiration for the dried mango?
No, my first inspiration is to earn money for the family.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you see the cheap raw material and you create a product. My challenge is we are not the original one. We are the late comer.
To the dried mango
So,
business.
yeah, dried mango in Cebu is since before I was born in the 1950s.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, so we are a late comer. I remember there are almost 10 establishments already when I come in.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we do is we do a lot of innovation. We look for other markets than the traditional market.
I see. So when you started off the business, so when you launched the dried mango, it was because there was an abundance of supply. Your auntie had a good formula for the dried mango. How did you start off? Because iba yung you have a good idea, iba na yung implementation or execution. How did you start off doing? I know that they were making kwento. You would even be the one packaging and sealing this yourself, the
Yeah.
mango.
Actually, when we started dried mango, we don't have the knowledge.
Mhm.
So that was the first 3 years was a failure actually.
Ah.
It was a complete failure because jumping into a business without any knowledge on it. So we're just depending on the formula of an auntie doing it in the kitchen and do not know that when you go mass production, it's completely different. So the first 3 years, we failed everything. In fact, we lost everything we have invested.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was all borrowed money. So I was with my dad, with my brother, the three of us. In fact, after 3 years, my brother said, "Oh, I have to do other things now because we lost everything."
Mhm, mhm.
So I become the head of the company because I do not want to give up. So I want to continue. Yeah.
And so what did you do after that? That's a good story. So like you said earlier on, failure became your stepping stone to success. So were you at the point, walang pera, ikaw yung head ng kumpanya, you're about 22, 23 years old at the time, I'm guessing?
No, I'm yeah, around 2021.
21.
Yeah.
You were 21 years old, heading a company na utang na lang, baksak yung negosyo. What was your solution there?
So the first thing I did is to correct because I don't know anything food processing.
Mhm.
So I flew to Manila to attend a 2 weeks food preservation course in UP Los
Los
Baños.
Baños, oo.
Yeah. So I take a quick two weeks food preservation course and redo everything again. Yeah. And that's how it really started. That's why it's very important as an entrepreneur. You go into something that you know. Never go into something that you don't know.
But you took a lot of risks at the start. Sometimes kailangan lakas na ng puso na, then you enter the business. But nowadays you don't encourage that anymore. You don't encourage people to come into the business almost zero knowledge and just get into
No.
it and learn from
In
there.
fact, I encourage almost all young people to go into business, even you're zero.
Even if you're zero,
Yeah, because you have nothing to lose.
nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Got
you're
that.
still zero if you failed, but if you succeed, that's really something. Yeah,
And I guess for you, what you really learned was from all the failures that you had, you get thicker skin. Parang you get used to failure. It's okay. Failure becomes because some people, there people who don't want to become entrepreneurs usually are those who are scared to fail.
it's true.
Oo.
It's true. In fact, it can form the person what you will become. I remember during the younger days, I'll
Mm-mm.
go to an uncle to borrow money,
Mm-mm.
to go to friends of my dad to borrow money. And you just have to be thick enough to tell them that. But the truth is, when these uncles see a young person trying hard to do something, oh, they really want to help you.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So Chairman, you started doing the business and you reformulated things, you recalibrated nga. Tell us a bit more about, the one that really stuck in my mind is when my wife was telling me you were the one mismo doing the packaging you were the one sealing the mangoes in the packages.
You know, when you have nothing, you're young, you have to be you have to do everything yourself. You'll be the janitor and you'll be the manager. Yeah. So I remember during the early days, I peel mango, I slice mango, dry it under the sun. In fact, seal the mango in a plastic bag using a candle stick. Because on that time, don't have the money to buy the sealing machine. So if you see those wrinkled seal, that means it's sealed on
With
on the candlestick.
candlestick.
Yeah, and that's how I started in 1979. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
with sealing on a plastic. When you earn the money, that's the time you keep on investing. But again, because of you have nothing, you you do not say I cannot do it. You just have to be. You should be think out of the box.
Think out of the box.
Yeah.
Very resourceful.
Yeah.
And then Uncle, how did you after you made the okay, you made the mango. How do you start the distribution? How did you start growing distribution behind the mango?
I myself go to all the supermarket in Cebu, approach the salesman, sell them the mango.
Talaga?
Yeah, that's how we started. Then very difficult to penetrate the local market because we're not the original.
Mm.
We are just the latecomer. So we started going for export.
I
Yeah.
see. So that's when you started going for export already because it was too crowded in Cebu.
Not only crowded because the payment is late when you sell to the supermarket. So when you sell it abroad, you get the payment immediately. Yeah.
I see. And Uncle, you were telling me earlier on that you also had to make an adjustment when you started selling abroad. It used to be called Philippine mango. People can see Philippine brand dried mango, but you had to call it Cebu dried mango eventually when you started
Yeah.
selling abroad. Tell us a bit more about that story over there.
I try to study what are mango. In the world, there's a lot of mango. There's about 1,000 species. But notice Philippine mango is one of the best in the world.
Yes, agree.
So our first brand was Philippine brand dried mango. And it was very well accepted, in fact, in the US in 1983 when I started selling it there. But for the Japanese or most of the Asian, like China, Japanese, Hong Kong. Philippines is a kidnapping country in the
At the time,
80s,
yes,
in
yes,
the
that's
early
right. Oh,
80s.
that's the reputation.
So doesn't sounds good. So we come up with the brand name Cebu brand in 1989 to be exact. Because for like the Japanese, Cebu is a entertainment area, rest and recreation. We have nice beach, so nice everything nice for vacationing.
I see, I see.
Yeah, so we come up with the Cebu brand. And if you will notice why we use the name of the country or the place as our brand name is because when I tried to ship to the US in 1982,
Mm-hmm.
immediately in 1983, Singapore company ship dried mango put in product of the Philippines. Yeah.
Ah,
So and half the price because other countries mango are very cheap. Philippine mango is very expensive.
I
So
see.
at half the price and compete with us. So we have to think of something that the client once they see it, they really know where the origin is.
And that's why it's called
Yeah. Philippine brand and Cebu brand.
Philippine brand and Cebu brand
Yeah.
mango. Uncle, I have a question lang. Usually, like when you do business, um, what point was it for you? Because you're working hard every day, right?
Yeah.
So you don't realize you're just growing the business and growing the business. At what point did you realize for yourself, your personal revelation, like, oh my God, the business is this big now? What is that point for you when you step back and said, my God, it's so big now what I'm doing?
It was in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really convinced this is the business that I have to go through. First, because I can see the market. It was in 1986. I was a recipient by Jetro to be sent to Japan to study the market in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1986, I was sent by CBI, a European in Netherlands, uh, that helped developing countries. And I was sent for free to Europe to study European market. So on that year, I see the market is you cannot imagine. They're so big. The market is so big, and I know this is the business to go. And I was so lucky that all these agency like Jetro sent me to Japan for free.
Mm-hmm.
CBI of Netherlands sent me to Europe for free to study the market.
Wow. And then the dried mango is almost a commodity. Now, I mean, it was a commodity
Yeah,
before. Right now, it's a very tough market.
yeah.
A lot of competition. I often tell people what you have to have your secret sauce in business to stand out. That's something that's different when it comes to either flavor, production quality, service. What do you think keeps you competitive in this highly competitive industry?
In a very highly competitive industry, we I feel that we have to have several factors together. For example, in Profood, our price is very reasonable. Number two, we can produce any volume a buyer require. So we can serve the biggest buyer without any problem. Number three, we have a very consistent quality. Through years of innovation, we were able to create a system to create a very consistent quality product.
I see.
Number four is the on time delivery. So all these factors have to be combined together to be successful.
And I understand that you've also, what you do is, in terms of innovation, you've come up aside from just the Philippine dried mangoes, you've got other things like I was going to show people. You experiment also like this dried young coconut. What are the other products that you started developing as a result of the dried mango?
Yeah. First, in the late 70s, we have only one product.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we process 16 types of tropical fruits that have commercial volume in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And we have about 150 SKUs now, or size of types of product now in the market. So when it's competitive, you have to grow even bigger
I see. I see.
to be sustainable.
What can you give me an idea? Just how big is the? I mean, because for us, if you live here, dried mango is your like in Manila. That's your pasalubong product that you bring home to Manila.
Yeah.
But can you just give me an idea of just you said you went to Europe and Japan just to see how big that market is. Just give us an idea. How big is the dried mango? I guess market overall worldwide.
The market is extremely big that Philippines cannot even feel it.
Hmm.
Yeah. The the problem for Philippines is the price keep on going up. In fact, we expanded to other countries now to produce mango for the world market.
Other countries to get mango for the world market.
Yeah.
Oh wow! What's the largest importer of dried mangoes here?
Still US and Canada is the largest right now. Next is China, then Japan, Asia, and Europe.
I see. And then if there are other people who are looking at this industry, younger ones, they can't compete naman with the younger ones. But what would you like them to encourage them to look into in terms of what are the business opportunities that they can still get into to service this dried mango industry? Are there other things that they can do also as well?
Young people, they have to be innovative, create something new. Yeah. You can still use the mango raw material, create something new. There is still a lot of things you can do, you create in this world right now we're living.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, there's no limit at all.
Very interesting. Uncle, I'm curious now. What is your innovation process in your head? How did you think? How did you think of new products? Because you said you have 16 different variants, you have hundreds of SKUs. But galing yan sa'yo eh, di ba? You thought of these ideas. What was your process eventually to start creating new products?
Yeah, for me, we never stop learning. So I go to food show every year, several food show a year. I talk to clients, to my buyers, what product they wanted, and I look at the competition, what product they have created, even it's another fruit, and out of those you create your own product.
I see. So it's really nothing beats constant exposure to the market and constant learning, no?
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
So
I
you
see.
really need knowledge on it.
You keep yourself very fresh when it comes to this type of top in terms of your this is the main source of business for you. But I understand also right now that I was very happy because I went here
Yeah.
before, which is JPark
Yeah.
Island, which is very different from what you're doing right now in terms of dried mango production. So I'm very curious, how did an entrepreneur like you jump from one industry like this one into a unrelated industry like JPark?
Yeah, it all started, I think, way back in 2005 when a Korean wanted to invest in the Philippines to put up a hotel.
Mm-hmm,
So on that time, I, s- I feel I need to help this Korean because he is investing in Cebu.
mm-hmm.
And things like this can help the country because he can bring in the tourists. So on the way, when I was helping, I did not even know. After a few years, I end up buying the hotel.
You bought the hotel altogether from him.
Yeah.
Was the hotel? I'm sorry to ask. Was it distressed? Was it problematic? Was he couldn't grow it further? What was the pain point that brought you in, or the
The
opportunity that brought you in rather? Oh,
uh, Before the hotel completed, they were in financial problem because that was the U.S. crisis in 2008.
2008. Oh,
Yeah. So even the Korean won devaluated by from 900 to 1006. So it's a considerable devaluation. So the investors on that hotel, in fact, one of them went bankrupt.
mm-hmm.
And I have to come in to save the project, the hotel on that time. So I come in with to buy out and to learn the hotel business.
Wow, that was totally new business, huh?
Yeah.
What are the insights? This is a question I think is interesting. What are the insights that you got from running the dried mango production, or from your original business, that you were able to use when you went into the hotel business?
Yeah, first of all, my insight is you cannot put everything in one business. You have to expand. On my constant travel, I've seen how Thailand, Vietnam grow.
Mm-hmm.
Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, how the tourism grow. I've seen everything. And I know Philippines lacking on this one. So when there was an opportunity to buy in, I went in at the same time helping them and helping this business to be successful. So because I know in my instinct that tourism will be big in the Philippines.
That's right. That's right. Wow. And when you came in, as usual, di ba, there's always problems in the business. What was the biggest first problem that you had to solve when you entered into the hotel business?
The biggest problem on that time was the money,
Was the financial? Of course,
the
yeah.
financial. So after the financial, we because it was all Korean market, so we go for Japanese, other nationality, and also the Philippine market. So we try to balance it out, yeah, to for the clientele. Then we keep on improving the hotel. Our hotel is a very unique hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family hotel. You can see three generations
Mm-hmm.
going at the same time. You'll see the grandchildren, the parents, and the grandparents staying in our hotel most of the time because it is a family hotel. You have the water park, you have the indoor park for the kids, and you have the nice beach. So it create an atmosphere for a family.
I see. I see. How did you I guess at the time you were able to take it out of financial distress and you were able to I guess invest new money to make it fresh again. Cebu market is also very competitive when it comes to tourism,
Yeah.
especially in that Mactan side. How did you make it different? I know that it was a family themed hotel, but did you come across that idea from the very start as you were doing it, or was it something over time that you figured out what the positioning of the hotel had to be in Cebu?
Since the start, we really want to focus to the foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
We want to bring in the tourists in because local market is very competitive. Also, price wise, you cannot go up.
Mm-hmm.
So we focus on the foreigners. In fact, our hotels about 92% are tourists.
Wow.
So we focus on them so you can grow faster. Yeah.
And so that became that became the focus of the market, and that's you grew behind the tourists visiting primarily there. How did you build the? I'm just curious. I mean, I'm a marketing guy. How did you build the tourist base for that one? Did you hire outsourced marketing for that one to just bring in the foreign tourists?
No, we spend money for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in Korea, we spend money in their football because Korea number one sport is football.
Mm-hmm.
In the stadium, it will flush out. JPark will flush out.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
We really spend money for it, and we also spend money to upgrade the hotel to make it a 5 star, a good experience with the price of a 3 star.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
And one of the things I find very interesting, which for me is makes it appealing for the kids, is actually the Pororo, the Pororo themed attraction. How did you bring that in? Tell me, I'm very
Yeah,
curious.
because the hotel concept is family. The Pororo concept only came in the last maybe 10 years ago. So or 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very popular character for the kids in Korea.
I see.
So we asked for franchise to be put in our hotel. So we have a totally new indoor park because it's hot in the Philippines.
Yes, yes.
If you go to Korea, you go to Jeju Island, you'll see an outdoor Pororo park. But in Philippines, it's quite hot, so we have it everything indoor.
And did you see? I know it sounds very such a basic question, but did you really see a jump when it became a Pororo theme park? You saw a jump really in the family stay in the.
Yeah, it did help. It helped a lot because the kids wants to go to JPark. They'll tell
Ah.
their mom, they'll tell their grandparents, "Oh, I want to go to JPark." Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, and the occupancy now is 90% Korean, but is it spread out now across
Yeah.
different?
Now Japan is a bit hurt because their currency have devaluated a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at other countries now, like Australia and US for this to come to our hotel.
Very interesting, Chair Justin. And so we have the food production, we have J Park, and now you've actually spun out a different model in JPark, which is the JPark Condotel.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a bit more. What business opportunity did you see? I'm curious from a
You
chairman
know,
standpoint. Eh.
we are in the point that I know tourism will be big in the Philippines,
Mhm.
and we need to expand. And we need to expand to other islands. So, in fact, we're building two hotels now in Bohol.
In Bohol.
Yeah, in Panglao. And to help me financially, so instead of borrowing from the bank, selling condotel so that the funds can we can build the hotel and the investor can enjoy the hotel at the same time earn from it.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh. So the JPark Condotel will also be here at the J in JPark?
It will be JPark Mactan, JPark Bohol in all property of JPark.
So the new structures being built are for JPark. JPark. These are new structures for the JPark Condotel. Tell me a bit more about how the investors can benefit from the JPark Hotel.
Yeah, the investors they can invest. For example, you can invest in a room.
Mm-hmm.
The price, so you pay for it. Every year you will earn interest out of it. We guarantee because we know already how hotel run and what is our occupancy, everything. So we share with the investor. So for example, now the first 2 years we guarantee you'll earn 7% of your investment.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you invest with us, we guarantee you 7% at least for the first 2 years. On the third year onwards, our guarantee is 5%. Depend on how big you want to invest. And we can even guarantee to buy back your investment in 10 years time.
Wow. Uncle, when you develop this
No,
con is
aside from that,
oh yes,
uh, every year you have a number of days
that you can stay
you can stay for free.
for free.
So you can enjoy the hotel, you can earn what you have invested, and we can buy back with a bonus or a higher rate from what you have invested. So technically, you earn double in 10 years' time.
But how did you develop this concept for the condotel? I mean, it's a great investment vehicle. It's also a great place to do this. But I know other models have been done in other parts of the world and in the country. But what makes your
We learned
condotel
this
different?
concept from the Koreans. This
Ah,
is
okay.
actually how they do it. In the US, it's mostly time sharing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's their concept. You buy membership, you have timeshare to use like that. But in Korea, you buy a unit
Mm-hmm.
and you share on the occupancy on the income of the hotel. But in our case, we guarantee that you will earn this much. It's not just uh, promising you, but without any guarantee. But ours, we guarantee you that you will earn this percentage that you will double your money in 10 years' time.
Got that. Uncle, so basically even foreigners can buy here. I guess
Yeah,
it's a condominium certificate of title for this
yeah.
one. So I'm guessing Koreans are actually buying
In fact,
units right now.
we aside from the local, we majority are foreigners.
I see, I
Yeah,
see.
because they want to spend their vacation here. At the same time, they want their money to earn.
Uncle, you keep on telling us that tourism is big. I appreciate that, and I've seen the numbers. But can you share with us just what your feeling is? How do you know that the numbers are really big? That because I know we're growing, and if you compare us versus Thailand, our tourism is this much compared to Thailand's. I mean, our 1 year is 1 month, less than one
Yeah,
month in Thailand. But why are you so confident in the Philippine tourism
you
industry?
know, I think I'm very observant.
Mm-hmm,
In the 70s, I already observing Thailand, how Thailand grow.
mm-hmm,
In the 70s, Thailand currency at par with Philippines. Thailand export maybe just 50% more than the
mm-hmm.
Philippines. Thailand, if you visit Thailand, look at their tourism site area. It's 100% same as Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
everything the same. So when I see Thailand how they grow, I went to a restaurant with 50 tourist bus parked at the same time, served them at the same time. You will see the volume. So in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
Thailand have almost 38 million tourists.
Yes, yes.
Philippines have 8 million tourists only. But Philippines, for me, Palawan is much better than Phuket.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we have much not more natural beauties. The only problem is we don't have the infrastructure. Yeah. So for me now, Bohol is the best. So I'm betting everything in Bohol to invest more, so that aside from creating jobs, creating uh, said having the hotel earning money, actually you help the country
Exactly.
because you bring in the tourists.
Exactly, Uncle. And also, again, going back again to the younger entrepreneurs or other entrepreneurs within the
Yeah.
area who want to play in that space for tourism, what are you seeing as opportunities that can still be leveraged, or that pwedeng papapasukan pa ng mga entrepreneurs that can help in the tourism industry, which is still full of potential?
There's a lot,
Mm-mm.
but important is the passion of the young entrepreneur. What is their passion? If their passion is like swimming or this ocean, then create something for the ocean to the tourists. You create a diving school, create whatever you can think. So if your passion is cooking, go to the restaurant, because when once the tourists are in, there are lot of opportunities you can do. Having a new restaurant, creating new recipes. For example, I one of my business partner was here. We're creating a new product. He's from UK.
Mm-hmm.
So on weekend, he went to Siargao and told me, "Hey, I drink this black juice. It's actually with activated carbon." I said, "Hey, we have uh, carbonized ice cream also in Bohol."
Yes, I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I saw that on Bohol.
So he said, "Oh, you Filipinos are very innovative." Yeah, that's what he said. In fact, he's flying out this Saturday after staying for three weeks, creating a new product for Profood for their market in UK.
Oh, he must be enjoying himself over
Yeah,
there, huh?
he was really impressed on those things. So these are the young people who can do it. The young people have their own energy to create new products. So
Wow.
if you're in culinary, create your culinary product. If you love the ocean, you create your ocean product. There there are lots of things you can do out of it. There's endless opportunity. The the worst is you will say, I don't have money, I don't want to do that. Yeah.
Uncle, how come you got so much energy? I mean, you're so, I mean, I talk to you, you're like, I mean, I talk to entrepreneurs who are my age, medyo pagod na yung iba, but you seem to have a lot of energy still
You're right.
yeah.
Sometimes after having a meeting, my colleague will tell me, "Oh, now I am energized
Oh,
because I believe in it." Once you believe in it, you can do it.
wow, wow. I'm so inspired
Yeah.
by how I wish I want how to be like you pa when I get to your age, to be just as energetic when it comes to doing business.
Yeah, actually, everybody can do it. Not only me. It's just as I said, I'm not born an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but I was. I think I was just trained to be one. Yeah. So I learned because I'm not. I don't want to be somebody. I remember when I was young. I don't want to be in the front. I don't want to. I just want to pass everything. That's all.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nothing special until things need you to be one, to become one. Yeah.
I understand, Uncle. Now, I wanted to ask, as we start to close out this interview, is, over the years you've learned so much, you've gained so much insight in doing business. You've failed, you've succeeded, you've opened up new businesses, you've studied the market abroad. But if there were like two or three key management or business insights that you've gained over the years that you could share with our entrepreneurs listening to us here right now, what would those insights about business and life be for you?
I would say number one for me is don't say no yet until you really study it. For example, during the pandemic, there's no business to do because
Mm.
everything is closed. I was approached by Dennis Uy of Converge.
Mhm, mhm.
He said, Justin, why don't you take care of my Cebu area for Converge? First, I was thinking I'm too old for this. But I think about it, yeah, this is internet services. This is the future of everybody. So I said yes without thinking who will do it. Then I went to the second generation. I picked up, I said, you want to take the challenge? I said, this in the future, if you look at it, it's a very good future. I take the challenge and the business really prosper.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow,
And I'm very proud of that business that we have created during the pandemic.
wow. That's amazing, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Um, kamag-anak mo ba si Dennis Uy na yan or just Uy lang yun? Nagkataon lang na Uy kayong dalawa?
No, I met Dennis. This is Dennis Uy Pampanga.
Yeah, how did you meet? How did you?
In the 90s, he wants to go into mango business also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He bought the old factory of Imelda in Pampanga. Then he asked a mutual friend for my advice. And he asked, how do I run this mango factory? I said, if you really want my advice, don't go into it. He said, why? Because you're based in Luzon. Luzon have 3 months mango only. What will you do after the 9 months? So at the end, I help him sell the equipment. Yeah. Because my mango business is, I have factory in Luzon, I have factory in Cebu, I have factory in Davao, I have factory in Iloilo.
Mhm.
So when the season coming from January in Luzon to May in Mindanao is almost whole year round.
Mhm.
So I have almost whole 10 months of processing in a year.
I see, I see.
Yeah. So, but for company just based in Luzon, you'll have a problem.
I see, I
Yeah.
see. Oh.
So at the end, he just during his roadshow on his convert, somebody asked you, "Why are you in this business?" Because he said somebody years ago told me not to go into mango business.
So, but the good karma came back to you.
Yeah.
The good karma of helping out came
Yeah.
back to you. That's really interesting story.
And that's an opportunity that I say when it just passed by once. When Dennis offered to me, even though I'm not very sure I can do it myself, but I know that's a very good opportunity because it's about internet. And that's a future of everybody.
That's right.
So
That's
I
right.
have to call the second generation. If anybody want to take a challenge, there's a lot of work to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if you're not ready, opportunity only pass by once. So you have to always be ready, especially in our food business. It only pass by once. A buyer suddenly come in saying, I want this, I want this, I want this. And if you think it's too difficult, you'll say no, no, no. Then you miss that opportunity. And that's why we grow from one single product to now more than 150 SKUs. Because in my company, I don't want people to say no. We study it. If it's really impossible, yes. For example, we don't have apple.
Mhm.
We study if we can import apple from China and create a product. But if it's really difficult, you cannot get that apple, then that's the time we say no.
I see, I see. Very interesting, Uncle. Any more advice to share? Aside from don't always say no. Don't
Yeah.
say no immediately. What else is another advice?
For
that you
young
have?
entrepreneurs, don't believe in your passion
Mhm.
and don't say no because I don't have the money. Look for other ways or be innovative to think out of the box. And that way, you will be successful.
Yeah. And with that, Chairman Justin Uy, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you. Looking forward to helping you out in with the dried mango business, but more importantly, looking forward to seeing you get out of new people growing business here in
Yeah.
the JPark Condotel. Just in case, Uncle, do you know how can they get in touch with the JPark Condotel people?
Yeah, we have website. You can even go through hotel website, and will guide you in. We have the Condotel website also. So when you're chance to come to Bohol, I'll show you
Oh, yes.
the Condotel, also the Cebu Condotel.
Love to go.
It's aside from you are guaranteed earning money, you can enjoy the hotel also.
I plan to enjoy with the
Yeah,
kids. So looking forward to that.
please.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. This has been the RJ Ledesma podcast. See you in the next podcast.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.